Post from dizzy-pigeon. The international student I befriended wasn't who he said he was. People have always said I look like an anime character. I was a skinny, pale little girl with big eyes, pink cheeks, dark curly eyelashes, a pointed chin, and a resting clueless face. I was shy and bullied at one point, so I was quite lonely for most of my school years. Men always saw me as an easy target. I went to a small-town Christian high school which had an international student program for the sole purpose of making money. The students stuck together due to the intolerant culture of my school. And by sophomore year, the older girls who thought I was cute had graciously taken me under their wing. Although I didn't speak Chinese, the language of most international students, I did my best to learn and communicate. I tried new foods, celebrated new holidays and festivals, helped with English homework, and I made friends with the younger students as they joined the school. I was 15 years old when Min, a 16-year-old Korean international student, joined my grade. Min was quiet and withdrawn. He never smiled, and the rare moments he spoke were stiff and formal. He always dressed nicely, often in plaid school suits, and a few girls at my table whispered that he looked sort of like a K-pop idol. I didn't know what that was at the time, but I smiled and nodded along. Although I was terrified of him, I began to feel sorry for him. Since I had changed schools a few times, I thought I understood how he felt. I hated being lost and alone and having no one to sit with. So I joined in the other girls' efforts to welcome him. I smiled at him in the hallways and spoke to him occasionally at lunch. Finally, he began to open up a bit. When he smiled for the first time, his whole face lit up. I felt better and hoped he was making friends and settling in okay. He began saying hi to me in the hallways between classes. Then I stated to see him constantly after every class. I wrote it off because I too tended to cling to people who were friendly to me in a new place. Soon he began skipping his study halls and other classes to spend time in my art classes. He was an extremely talented artist and completed a stunningly realistic clay hand in a few days. This was when my panic attacks peaked in intensity. I thought my brain was just messing with me. Given me past and fear of men in general, the thought of going to art, once my favorite class, made me want to vomit. The day he asked me out to see the play with him was the day I decided couldn't take it anymore. I politely said I had already seen it, but thanked him and said maybe another time. It's difficult to ghost someone in a tiny school, but I managed. I ate lunch in bathrooms, kept my head down in the hallways, pretended to be invested in other girls' conversations during art. I packed up and left just before the bell in classes. He still waited for me and his smile disappeared. He grew withdrawn with everyone again. I felt so guilty. Eventually, he moved on to the freshman class. Then, a few months later, he was expelled. Last week I found out why. He was expelled because he was actually 19 years old and had a history of severe mental illness. Other schools had kicked him out for his past behavior. That wasn't all. One of my friends who had been in the freshman class took him into their circle of friends. He asked my friend to fix him and behaved somewhat strangely. Worst of all, he told my friend that his deepest desire was to have sex with a pretty white girl. Slit her wrists, cut her stomach open while he came inside her, wear her organs as cloak, then kill himself too. He had me singled out. He tracked me down on Instagram in later years and tried to follow me. I declined. Min. Let's never meet again. Comment from DarthBotto. This story is strange. I've never heard any non-fictional person describe themselves like an adorable little anime character, and it doesn't even seem to factor into the story. It's like how Stephanie Meyer introduced Bella. Also, it's standard protocol for foreign exchange programs to immediately send students home if expelled. They don't resituate them at other high schools. Additionally, students can be enrolled in high school up to the age of 21. This whole thing reads like a manga writing prompt. Comment from justgetinthebin. You realize this sub is supposed to be for real stories, right? And nothing about this sounds real. It sounds like a twisted weeb fantasy you'd find on Wattpad. Also starting the first paragraph off with how much you totally look like an anime character, which isn't even relevant to the story, is a good way to turn off people from reading your post. Nobody is gonna believe that, lol. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe.